Hello everyone. I hope you're having a great day so far. So yesterday I talked about my really stressful day and I've gotten some wonderful comments back about I feel your pain, that kind of stuff. Today has been going much better. And in fact, the issue that I was trying to solve yesterday that I needed to contact my credit card company for, I contacted the company in question, and actually I got a really nice individual, totally straightened everything out. So everything is settled with that. So that feels great. So after spending over 3 hours, about 3.5 hours on hold yesterday between two different times, at least everything is solved and I don't have to think about this issue any longer. So I'm really thrilled about that. And the person that I spoke to, a gentleman, it was absolutely wonderful. And I did tell him, please don't change. Please don't let the corporate world ever jade you and change the way you're being so empathetic and so understanding. And so, yeah, I really, really appreciated all the time that he gave me, the way he listened and how he handled everything so quickly. But anyway, that's not why I popped on this live, but I just thought I would let you know if you watched my video from yesterday as to the result. So yay, feeling much better today. Can't say that I slept all that great last night. I think just all that energy running through me, just affected my sleep. But what I did want to talk about, because I did include yesterday's situation in my newsletter, and so that's gone out to all of the people who are signed up for my newsletter. And I did get a response back from one person saying, so what do I do? What do I do in those moments when I'm really craving something, and I'm thinking that I'm going to a healthier alternative, because I shared that yesterday in my newsletter that, I can sometimes justify eating sweet things, or going to my crutch of sweet things when I'm stressed, and I justify it by, well, I'm making it at home, so I'm using all organic ingredients, I'm controlling the amount of sugar that's going in, blah blah blah, right? And that really isn't the solution either, because you're basically just substituting one thing for another, and you're really not getting to the crux of the issue. So one of the things that I would like to talk about today is, how do you handle those situations? So one, no, it isn't a good idea to just make a switch to something that you think is healthier. And I say that, like me going and buying a gluten-free cookie at a cafe, as opposed to me making, a dozen gluten-free cookies at home and controlling all the ingredients. That's not a good option as far as the switch goes, because I'm still eating the cookies, and if I make them at home, I'm going to eat way more, right? Because they're there, and I want to fill that need. So yes, that can be a good thing to do in making a switch, that if you really want something sweet, then have a piece of fruit with some nuts, and have the fruit whole, as opposed to, throwing it in a smoothie or something like that. Because when you're having it whole, one, you're going through the chewing process. And if you're chewing your food the way that you should be chewing it, slowly, really breaking it down, it allows your brain to register, right? It allows your brain to register what's happening. And it's a whole process that's going on in your digestive system as well, too, to start breaking that fruit down. So I'm going to use the example of an apple. An apple has a lot of fiber in it, as opposed to a banana, right? So an apple would be a good choice. Chewing it, breaking it down. By the time you're done that apple, hopefully, if you've eaten it slowly and you've eaten it mindfully, then you're not going to be craving something afterwards. Having the apple with nuts is going to help to regulate your blood sugar. So one, having the apple whole and chewing it is going to help your blood sugar because of all of the fiber. And having it with some nuts gives you some fat, so that of course is again going to blunt that blood sugar spike that might happen. But here's the other thing that I talk to my clients about, and I will be looking at something because I can't remember it all off the top of my head. But think about why. Why do you want that item? What are you trying to fill? Like for me, I know it's an absolute comfort thing. Sugar gives me that dopamine, that serotonin, that oxytocin, right? So I'm looking for that hug, that reassurance. And because I'm single and I don't have somebody to give me a hug, I need to figure out how to do that myself, right? But here's the thing. There's a book called, and I apologize, I meant to look up the exact name, but I believe that it's called Constant Craving by Doreen Virtue. And in her book, she talks about the cravings and the emotional significance because, and I think I've probably shared before, what goes in here in our mouth has a lot to do with what we're thinking up here, right? How we're feeling emotionally and mentally. So for example, chocolate is equated to a hunger for love. So when we want chocolate, we're craving love. We're not getting that from somebody, not getting that potentially from ourselves as well too, right? We don't just look for love on the outside, we look for love on the inside. So if you've been really hard on yourself and suddenly you tie into the chocolate, maybe you need to give yourself some love. And trust me, I am not judging anybody at all at this moment by sharing this. I've done it. I've done it myself. I love chocolate. And I know when I'm going for chocolate, sometimes even before I eat the piece of chocolate, I go, you're craving love. The next one is dairy products. Dairy products, they're anti-depressant foods. So when we're going for cheese or ice cream, I don't think ice cream has a separate, no, it doesn't. So cheese, ice cream, whipped cream, yogurt, those are associated with an antidepressant. So there's something that it's giving us that's making us feel happier at that moment. And somehow, subconsciously, we've connected to that, but we don't realize it in the moment when we're doing it. Now, of course, ice cream has a whole different factor because it has a whole lot of sugar in it. Nuts, crunchy, and snack food. I'm very much a texture person, and a lot of times I want something because I want that texture. So those types of things are related to stress, anger, and anxiety. And I'll post these all down in the comments as well too. So think about that. When you're wanting to crunch on something, right? It's that stress. It's that wanting to clench our teeth, that anger. And fatty foods, that's a feeling of emptiness, because what does fat do when we eat it? Fat fills us up. So there's a feeling of emptiness inside. The next one is spicy food. There's a drive for excitement. I guess I must have enough excitement in my life because I never crave spicy food. Can't say that I have the most exciting life, but it is probably adequate to me. But yeah, spicy, you want that extra little, and then bread and starches. That's comfort and calming. So people who often create or crave pasta or breads or those types of things, it's wanting that comfort, right? We want that calming. So whatever's going on, there's a level of anxiety, and we're wanting to be calmed. Cookies, cakes, and pies. That's definitely a category for me because I love cookies, cakes, and pies. Pleasure and reassurance. And I'll have to say, I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. As an entrepreneur, let me rephrase that. As a solopreneur, because I work alone and I don't work in multiple businesses. I just work in my nutrition business. But as a solopreneur, it's sometimes hard to get reassurance, right? Maybe you have a friend that, can reassure you, but a lot of times you're working alone and you just need to reassure yourself. So that's probably why I do crave the cookies and the cakes and stuff, but also that pleasure, wanting to have that pleasure in my life. And I know there's somebody on here, and hello, thank you for joining, but I don't have my glasses on and I can't see who you are. But thank you so much for joining. And then the last one is candy, and candy has to do with rewards and entertainment. And you know what? This is so classic, right? Think about maybe when you were a kid. If you're a good girl, I'll give you a candy later, okay? Just behave yourself while we're out, and then when we get home, you can have a candy. Entertainment. Candy can be associated to entertainment. I just went to the PNE, the Pacific National Exhibition, a couple weeks ago, I guess. And I go to the exhibition, and I remember when I was a kid, the cotton candy, the candy apples, all that kind of stuff, just smelling that stuff. There's the excitement of the whole exhibition, but smelling all of that sugar, I could have just gone crazy while I was there. But of course, I had to say in my head, whoa, those things aren't going to get you towards your health goals. Now, when I talk about getting towards the health goals, and even though for the most part, I'd have to say, 95% of the time I feel really good. There were times that I didn't. There were times that I was in extreme pain, and all of these things, any one of these things on that list that I just shared, would have sent my body into just a total inflammation rage, full of pain, all that kind of stuff. So I had to really cut that back. Now I have, really worked hard to heal my body, heal my gut, and reduce all of that reaction so I can enjoy these things on occasion. But, I do need to remind myself as well when I get into those moments that I'm really stressed and I want to turn to these things. I need to remind myself, okay, if you eat this, what's going to happen? Are you going to be suffering in pain for a couple of days? And where I feel it the most is in my hands. And that just doesn't feel good, because when I'm trying to do things, it really limits what I'm trying to do. And I just don't like feeling the pain. So an action, there's always a consequence to an action, right? So when you're going to grab for something, stop yourself if you can. The first step they say is awareness, right? So stop yourself if you can and just say, why do I want this? What am I feeling? What am I needing? What am I missing at this moment that I want this so badly? And, that's the first part. And if you can start to dig down and think about why you're wanting that, that might stop you it might stop you completely. Or maybe it's taking you down another path where, okay, I want this because I need comfort. But then if there's another consequence, like for me, the pain, the inflammation, it's like, okay, I want this because I want comfort. But if I have this, then I'm going to experience that pain and inflammation. Okay, what else can I do at this moment to take away this craving of this thing that I want, that I know is not taking me towards my health goals, keeping me out of pain and inflammation? But how do I solve that comfort? So it could be, okay, do I need something warm? Sometimes it sounds really weird. I know sometimes I'm really weird, but sometimes having a warm cup of water makes all the difference. Like fairly warm, almost like tea, but not having tea. So sometimes that really helps me because it just warms me inside and it gives me a comfortable feeling. Or do I just need to step away for a moment? Do I need to go out for a quick walk, even around the block, to get some fresh air, get away from whatever's frustrating me or whatever I'm feeling that I need the comfort from? Or do I need to just sit on the couch and, curl up in my favorite comfy blankie that makes me feel really good for a moment, and just close my eyes and just relax. So for everyone, there's a different way that we can solve those things. And yesterday I shared about, call a friend. There's a friend that will listen empathetically and not say to you, oh, just go have the cookie or have the cake. If there's a friend that will listen to you and support you, then, excuse me, then that's a really good option as well too. So as I said, I'll post this list down in the comments. I hope you found this helpful, but we always want to remember is what we're doing getting us to where we want to be. A manager of mine many years ago shared a quote with me, and when she first shared it with me, it really I had to really get my head around it, but it said, how would the person I want to be do the things I'm about to do? And that quote just recently came back to me in my head. I hadn't thought about it for years, but really it is something that I do try to keep in mind. How does the Connie that I want to be do the things I'm about to do? Anyway, have a great Tuesday. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. And as always, if you've got a topic you'd like me to cover, please leave it in the comments or message me directly. And I always love hearing your feedback as well too. Have a great day. Bye.